Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Friday, which is nice. A little bit after 8 on the U.S. East Coast on July 18th, 2025. Welcome to the Dev Talk Show, and welcome to my co-host, Rich Ross. How are you doing?
Doing well, Chris. Just getting the right background for the right show.
Oh, yeah. My background stayed the same. Kind of
yeah,
interesting.
and I would love to get to a point where I can have a background that can stay the same, but
No,
yeah,
I
sometimes
just didn't
that
think
green
about it.
screen's helpful.
Yeah, I just didn't put as much effort into it. But we do have the executive producer. Oh no, he's covered by the
logo. Oh no,
bubbles, which I actually, can't even remember how to turn off at this point. But I think it's possible. There it is. Oh, nice. Can't really see him that much, but he is here. He is here.
It's good to have him here on a Friday. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, it's just making sure everything works out. So, welcome to the Dev Talk Show. Thanks for joining us live, if that's the case, and if you are joining us live and say, hey, I might miss some shows, don't forget that we're on YouTube.com/the Dev Talk Show. You might already be at YouTube, so this is the right place to watch replays. So today,
smooth.
Yeah, like we're already in the right place to watch replays. So in case you don't know, and if you're on Twitch, then just that's a good thing to remember there, that the replays are all on YouTube. So there's a lot interesting that's gone on. I think last week, or I'm sorry, boy, that's how crazy this week has been. It is this week that .NET 10 Preview 6 came out, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that is right. I just wanted to double check. .NET 10 Preview 6. And so now that I've checked that, definitely that's available. And the main reason that I bring that up is because I think we both were kind of looking towards...
Don't want me to bring it up? I have...
I mean, sure, I have the blog post here.
Do the same thing. There you go. That's where I was going.
Yeah. So I think I'm not sure if they do a preview 7 or if it goes to RC after this. I'm not 100% sure.
You get 2 release candidates, and I thought those were in September and October. And since we got a whole nother month, there's a possibility of there being a 7.
Yeah, there may be. And in fact, this was discussed on the .NET channel. There were quite a few videos this week that I thought were pretty interesting and relevant. And one of them was kind of the intro to this release. If I remember correctly, it was like a 2-a-day for Dan Roth, where he did a minimal APIs video. He was part of that, and did a discussion with Damien and Safia, and it was really good. And then like later that day was the Preview 6 unbox. So it was like, wow, it's been busy. But yeah, that's this one here where they talk about this. And I actually happened to click right to what I was going to say.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so let me see. I don't think that's being presented because there we go.
There you go.
There are some new features. So this is something interesting that people may or may not know. There's some new features that look like they've made there. I can't tell for sure if this is, I think this is Edge that's doing this, where when you share a tab and then you open up a new tab, it's bringing up this little notification now asking me, do you want to switch the tab you're sharing?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it just started like yesterday. So, for example, you see that I'm sharing this Blazor state persistence tab, and I have now switched my tab, and yet you're not seeing a switch, but that notification is sitting there, and I can click and switch. And this is being driven in Edge.
That's wild.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna pretend that I totally understand where it's coming. So, it's fine. But I think this is an edge feature. And so that tells me, I wonder if there's some browser features that I'm just totally unaware of, where it's aware of what you're doing. I don't know. Anyways, so the point is that Blazor state persistence, I cannot wait to dig into and get to, because we discussed that a couple years ago right on this show, where we were noticing that state would, like, for example, if you're if you're on static side rendering SSR, and then you have this one, like maybe WASM component that the state didn't seem to pass, and it was really weird, and it turned into a whole thing, if I remember correctly. I know Carl Franklin talked about it a lot. So, in any case, I think that's interesting to see, and I can't wait to get to the previews, and we'll have to start looking at that stuff.
Yeah, and there's the one preview that we've already looked at about having, that the single file, and being able to basically run a single file, a single class, which is pretty awesome. Something I heard yesterday was I was watching another one of the same on the .NET channel, and the conversation was around there's apparently a feature in npm that you do an npx command, so it basically lets you run an npm package.
Okay.
And apparently there's a dnx command coming so that you can run a NuGet package in a similar fashion. So again, getting down to that, how can we make it simple to just get and run, a simple file, or in this case, a simple package, and be able to call that and run it. So there's a lot of interesting things happening with 10. So really looking forward to getting access to those.
Yeah, absolutely. So today there's a couple things we're going to try to do. I guess we'll see how it goes. One is that we talked on this show about a metadata API for the user group app, and you have been saying, I think recently, that like the API is up and running, but when you've tried using it lately, you have run into some issues that look like CORS issues.
Yeah, that's what it keeps telling me. So I do have. I'm going to put a pin in something when we end the show. Let's make sure we come back and mention, unless we want to mention it now. Something.
Was it the .NET AI thing that's going on today?
Yeah.
You're right. That's going on today, starting at 9. In fact,
10.
Is it 10? Okay, well, even better. So don't ask me why. I think I thought it was 9 because I saw the erroneous announcement that Jeff's been talking about. That might have been it.
Oh. So I got this because I got an email from the .NET Conf people, and in that email was a link to this site. So I figured this was the one to show.
Yep.
So our friend C# Fritz is working, or going to do a couple of boot camps. One this week, and this week's was really interesting. It's all focused around AI. So starting from, almost sounds like almost starting from file a new project all the way to totally infusing AI in your application. He's got a full 8-hour workshop going. So hopefully you're seeing this in the present and not in the future. And you're able to jump into it. But I'm sure Jeff's going to have that probably up on his YouTube site as well.
Yeah. Does it show on this page?
Yep.
Does it show on this page where? Because if it does, or maybe in your email, I don't know, because I'm a little surprised that it doesn't say here that there it is. Yes. So it is on Twitch, C# Fritz. However, I do not know if he's doing this today, but these do get posted typically on his YouTube version of that channel, which is youtube.com C# Fritz, and it may be simulcast. That happens quite a bit. It's just that I think Jeff recognizes that the majority of his audience is on Twitch, and besides, to keep it less confusing, just direct people to one place. if people happen to discover it on YouTube, great. So that's the one thing that I think we'll get out of this, is that it should be showing up there as well, either live or perhaps this will be recorded and shown in the future. I did mean to ask him if this was going to be on the YouTube channel, and I think it is.
Yeah. So in the .NET Conf email that we got, basically set a reminder, but can't make it live. Don't worry. You definitely want to catch the replay. So he's going to have that somewhere, most likely on his YouTube channel. So
I think so. Yeah, right. Because this is through the C# Fritz channel.
Yes.
So yeah.
So
I actually
sorry to digress from.
No,
what
I
we were
plan to have that
about,
on.
but...
I plan to have that on a little bit later today. So
yes.
That's
awesome. Yeah.
All right.
And then well, thank you for letting me drop into that. So I'm going to clear up a couple of tabs here. Some of the stuff we were talking about, we'll let that go. Okay. That was some of the core stuff we were doing. And let's go to here. So I don't know. I'm going to be honest, right? We've got, people might be watching, or people might be coming in and out and watch. Like, it's not like we have a specific, hey, we're going to kind of show you how this works. I don't know how we're going to get this to work yet. And I'll be honest, I spent probably 2 hours Wednesday morning kind of going through some things, trying a bunch of different stuff. And because my goal was to get it fixed, because we had it working. It can't be that hard. So my goal was to get it fixed and like start doing a show and just jump in and do a show Wednesday and work through the rest of the metadata features. But it's tough to hit the go live when you're the only one on the stream and you're starting off with a problem that you don't have an answer for. So those are some of the challenges of doing a live stream, as it were. So I'm basically apologizing because this is the first one we've done this week, and we've been trying, but we keep hitting these kind of roadblocks. So
I think I've always had this feeling, which I've told you offline, is that if at least 50% of the show I feel confident that we know what we're doing, then I don't mind experimenting the last part of it, so that way at least somebody watching doesn't feel like, wow, I spent the whole hour just watching somebody stumble through it. But at the same time, I've definitely gotten a lot of feedback from all the great comments and folks who've reached out, whether it's YouTube comments or just on Twitter or anything, that sometimes people learn a lot from the process too. So in any case, we have an app here, the Orbital API, and
what I'm going to...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
just kind of walk through where we are. So this is the Orbital API project, and we have our Orbital Web project. So, and our Orbital Web, for those who we haven't said it in a while, it's a WASM project. So it's a WebAssembly project. It runs on the machine, but it doesn't have its own website to run from. It's basically running locally on your machine once all the bits get downloaded there. And what's happening is, and we can walk through and show it. So if I do, let's see, if we get the meeting endpoints, because right now the meeting component is the only one that's wired up. I disconnected all the stuff that make the metadata happen, just to try and get back to a scenario where this was kind of working. And maybe, so let me ask you this, Chris, in the one that you have working on your machine, which doesn't have any of the metadata components in it, because those are on a separate fork right now, or a separate branch. Do you run into any kind of a CORS issue with what you're doing in the project?
I'm going to run the project locally real quick just to make sure. But
yeah, and I'm going to do the same thing. But we've been
using it for a while, right? So
yeah.
And this is within the same. We're still within the same API project.
Yes.
Meaning, so we're an Orbital API. It's not like the metadata API is in a different project.
No, but it mirrors the structure of the metadata. So if you look at, if you look here, right, you've got, no, I hit that too soon, right? You've got not only our meeting endpoints, but our metadata endpoints, right? Those things, the structure of what we did in the metadata maps to what we did in the meetings, right? So there's classes here for the endpoints. There's services for the HTTP client. There's repositories for each. So what we did for one, we did for the other. Now, we do know that there is an issue in bringing in the metadata container and the meeting container from the Cosmos container inside of our startup. We've got to do that in a better way, which is what I was working towards, right? We have to do that keyed resource essentially to be able to understand how to, which one, when I say, hey, I want a container, which one am I talking about? Okay, so that's here. This is running. I can go to Data Explorer, and just real quick, we can show that. That's interesting. Maybe we cleared some stuff up. Okay. So we don't have any meetings in there, which is fine. If we go to, so this is what we get. That's bizarre. It's already stuck in. We hit a breakpoint?
No, I think
doesn't look like it.
So if back in your browser, if you get into the developer tools, which I think is like Control-Shift-I
or F12.
Yeah.
Oh. That can't be.
Blew up early.
Yeah, you should at least get to the home page.
So that's earlier than you. That's not how this was usually working for you, right?
No. Yeah, because what would happen was I could load the home page, and then we would click into the meetings tab, and that's where it would blow up, because the meetings tab would go to load, and when it goes to load, it wants to that's the actual bits. That's what status. There's meetings. So as part of the load, it goes ahead and hits this load meetings call, which load meetings. Oh, there it is. Okay. Which calls the meeting service and then says, go get the meetings async, right? Which is just getting the list of meetings. We're not even getting past the homepage here. That's fine.
Yeah,
You're as confused and puzzled as I am.
When you went to the Data Explorer, you can at least see. You're at least seeing, because you know that issue that I've had where it seems like if I walk away for a little while, I have to tear down the containers and images and so on. But you are not, like, your Data Explorer exists.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean exists, but what I mean is the containers were there.
Right.
But the WASM page, I don't know that it's directly WASM related, is blowing up very quickly.
Right. So that's got our meetings in it. That's fine. And then our page here.
Okay.
And you're not seeing this, I guess.
Well, so I had to actually, just to open the current state of the app, I had to do exactly what I just said, which is, wipe out the, what's funny is that I'm having a lot more trouble. not sure why. It's like it blew up trying to seed the meetings for me, which is not
Okay.
an issue that I've had previously.
Which seeding the meetings would call the API, right? That's kind of needed.
Yeah.
And if,
okay, and then what if I just refresh this? Okay, so there's meetings seeded for me now, and they are showing up. Okay, but now I'll tell you what commit I'm on. I'm on a commit. It's like E96E0, which is not. It doesn't actually have a branch or tag pointing to it right now. So let's see. Oh, you may not have all the latest branches, which is okay.
yeah.
I basically I put out a branch recently called feature data seed because I was going to try and get the data seeding up there, and then I actually decided not to merge that pull request, mainly because GitHub Copilot actually talked me into it. So I've rolled back locally to a commit that I don't even know if you have in there right at the moment. Like, I suppose you could theoretically fetch to see it, but I'm trying to figure out real quick, like what. Let's go take a look. I'm at Program CS, and you were just there a second ago.
For the API or for the
API,
host?
yeah.
Okay.
And let's see.
Go back up top. Okay.
I mean, you have So I do have one thing different here.
All
and
right.
instead of with origin localhost, it's allow any origin. So the whole instead of with origins, the method is allow any origin. And I think what the difference between the two, now granted, this one is incredibly permissive.
Yeah.
The difference between the two is I think if you say with origin localhost, but you don't supply a port, then CORS is going to say like, well, I mean, I don't know, like you're not on localhost. In fact, we even have a comment.
Right?
Yeah, we even have a comment specifying that we were going to scope it. So that's what I have in the commit right now. So I'm not sure what you're building off of, that maybe we didn't have that. I like I said, I think that's a little odd, but the point is let's try running it now and let's see. I don't know that was your only issue, but
no.
I was trying to join a live show, but it's not.
Oh, I think it stopped because I.
Oh, okay.
There you go. No. What are you build erroring on?
Oh, this could be because like files were open. Which I know might seem weird.
Yeah. No, actually, it's it kind of is. I mean, if I go into, let me see if I can do this. Start X. Nope, wrong one. This one. I'll have to right click. Task manager. When I had that happen before, I actually had a running instance of Orbital that it wasn't closed.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's just do this. Yep. Great. Those are probably fine. All right, let's try that again. So let's close that. La la la.
Alan says good morning to us.
Hey, good day. Or good evening at this point. All right, let's let it load. That probably just lost your live share link again.
Yeah, that's okay. It's oddly enough, it's been fighting me anyway. I was trying to bring it up in the insiders build.
Yeah.
Because then I felt like, okay, well, this will be my window, and then this will be yours, and I don't know. It's been one of those mornings, it looks like. So
yeah.
So what's interesting, part of what's interesting to me is how your code got in the state of not having the allow any origins, which is something we have to talk about anyway. Because as you can see, we have in our app right now, we basically have CORS enabled no matter what.
Right.
And while I can see some value in allowing this, when you're your day-to-day developer, we don't have it scoped to that. So it could be another one of those cases where we use the is development a little bit further down. We do some of this stuff. And say, oh, well, if you're into, maybe actually we might not. Yeah. So this is the only thing we have in your version of the code right now. But when I was working on the data seeding, I was also making that development only.
Okay. Which makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. That. And then I think even the CORS options may have to go in there, because at some point soon, I think it'd be nice to get to a place to where our builds are going out to even a staging server. It doesn't have to be live, and we're worried about what people do with the data, because we would just be tearing it down, every time. But it'd be nice to get that pipeline going. And then you want to have a difference between what happens on your own machine versus what happens on the internet. So in any case, is it any better at all here now that it does look like,
looks like it's
I'm
trying.
I'm seeing the app getting built here. That's the interesting thing about now being connected to the live share session is that it
oh, you see all that?
Yeah, I see it building the debug console. Yep, I have all of that. It's pretty neat. What I'm not sure about is does it let me log into the dashboard over a tunnel? No, it didn't let me do that.
This one? You can't see this.
Oh man. Now I just lost the tab. No, I can't see that, and I'm not sure if I should expect to.
Makes sense.
I'm just not sure. Maybe.
All right, so we still have whatever those issues were here. Talking about promises and polyfills and type errors. SRI's integrities check failed. Is there? So let's think about it this way. When we think about the WASM side of things, is there something, because it runs locally, that's it's downloaded, right? Can we blow that away and get a fresh one, or is that not kind of the way that works?
Well, I think even Control F5 should help you there, because Control F5 I think clears the cache instead of just a reload. But
I mean, do we jump into the program file of the web and see why it's, see if we can catch something tells us what's blowing up?
Yeah.
So let's take a look here because we've got some, well, all right, for completeness, let's go ahead and stop this. Because if you look at the rest of the code, look around at the rest of the code base. Right now, everything that's related to metadata is essentially commented out, right? So on the API side, we've commented out the metadata endpoints here. We've commented out the repository, all the containers. And we're going back to the original way we were getting containers, which is just get us the client. And then inside of our meeting endpoints, hang on. Da, da, da. All right, we got a Cosmos client. Oh, it's not in the meeting endpoints. It's in the meeting repository. We pass that into the Cosmos DB client here, and then wire up a container. And then that container is what we used all the way through. So there's nothing right now that includes the metadata bits because they're all commented out.
Okay. All right. And again, part of the problem is that we are so metadata branch is working, huh? What? Oh, I see. Working on metadata for event status.
Yeah, that was, I think that was the last one I checked in.
Okay.
Now we can try and roll back, I guess, to that. If we go back to here, right? I mean, that tag is what we had post show on the 9th, which is kind of the last one that was available.
Right.
Now, this is really branching off topic, so no pun intended for the Git component here. If I roll back, I'm going to have to stash all my changes.
You can, sure. Yeah, you can stash them, or, I mean, and that's fine. I often sometimes will make temporary branches, but I work differently from a lot of people.
That is fair. All right.
But no, you're right. I mean, it'll stash your changes, or at least you can have. Yeah, exactly. I see what you're doing now.
Okay. Although there is something I do want to look at called work trees, which supposedly gets rid of all of the stash components, which can't be assumed. All right, so let's just do git stash, saved working directory. Okay, is that the same? Interesting. So if I get what's the command? Get.
I mean, you can reset to
that's it. I was thinking rollback, but that's not it. So reset hard.
I admit that I'm not much of a stash user, so
8E39079.
Yeah.
Okay. So what that's going to do is that's just going to take the pointer and put it back at that old commit.
Right.
All right. So now that we have this, if we go back to here, Should I do the? I probably should do the get clean -f-g. So
Okay, so basically it removed a few things for you, but that's okay. I mean,
it's fine. We can get them back. So let's see.
I'm trying to figure out what might have changed. And I don't see a whole lot. Now, here's something, though. If you go back to the Orbital API program CS, so I'm not sure how this state happened for you, but it does say allow any origin for the policy. So,
okay, we're still here.
One thing I find interesting is, well, actually, I guess it's not. Your website's on 58994, which shouldn't be a big deal because the web app is the API still on. Is the API still locked down to? Okay, it is
7024. Yeah.
Yeah, but then look at how. Try clicking that link right there. Localhost 7045. No, the 7045 one.
Yeah, that doesn't go anywhere. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Well, it looks like it's loading the same, or at least loading the page the same way.
Yeah. Okay. How about this?
Could there be a different version?
Well, I was going to say, do you have a .NET? Do you have a .NET preview version installed?
Not that we're running. We should be running on the 9.
Well, so are we?
Okay, so .NET,
the question there is, do you have? Yeah, do list do -- list SDKs. No, you're on 302 there.
Yeah.
And like you don't have a version, you don't have a 10 version that would override it. So here's something. I have a global JSON that I keep locally. I have not committed it yet. And the reason why I haven't committed it is because I don't want to affect folks that. So the reason why I didn't commit it is because that would lock the SDK to something like a 90302 or something like that. And the problem was, I think, as we've seen, is that when I move over to Linux, I can only get it's a supported version, but it's like a 90100 level version.
Gotcha.
And so I don't have global JSON checked in. I have that as a local file. Now that's not. I don't think that's the issue you're having here. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure what. Because, like I said, if I bring up the same code, and you're not even dealing with a CORS issue anymore, it's like we could go all the way to the top of that stack of errors, I suppose, to try to figure out what exactly, right? I don't know that it's CORS. That's the issue. I don't know.
I don't either.
Because I run the app and it's fine. So, we just know that when you run the application, it's blowing up. And when you go and look in the console for the web app, we're seeing all kinds of just a massive stack trace of errors related even to the fetch API.
Yeah.
So the app essentially doesn't start. That's the issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's getting us I mean, yes, Wednesday it was at least starting.
Right.
But so right now we're not even doing that. Have you looked at the comments?
Yeah. And so, I mean, we're describing the problem in that the app doesn't start. If we knew more, then it would be a little bit easier. Yeah. But the API is not failing. The API is fine. We have a CORS policy. just for development purposes, that allows
Mhm.
anything. That's not
it's
where we're
here.
going to end up, but we have a CORS
Right.
policy that allows anything. And for
And we're
whatever
using it
reason
here.
on your machine, like right now, it feels like you kind of get in that space of like, why is it here? So there must be some difference, especially because we've both rolled back to the same exact commit,
Mhm.
right? And so we were in the browser console a second ago, and I don't think we rolled back to the top to see what the top level issue was. But here, I'm going to actually just disconnect from the live share and run it separately just to make sure here.
Mhm.
But I think that we initially thought there was a CORS issue, but now that we've kind of gone over the setup, yeah, like the app just starts up, and I can even show all the meetings, right? So
Yeah.
in your end, when you start the app, we see a big mess in the JavaScript console.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if it's worth, because I think Alan had mentioned that he actually he got both working. He got the metadata working and the main one working. And I'm wondering if, we take it further and go back to origin main and just see.
Well, now something I did earlier is exactly what Alan is saying, is I wiped out the Docker container and volume and image and went ahead and went through the pain of starting that over. And it's not that it's that hard. It's just that it takes a second.
Yeah.
But we've been dealing with that from the beginning.
Kind of consistently.
Right. But that's something I did over here to start the day. Is I said, okay, not because I wanted to. It's because the first thing I did was try to fire up the app, and it wouldn't connect. And so I said, okay, let's wipe out this preview emulator, and you start by wiping out the container, because you have to close the container first.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple there, and you can just dump them.
Yep.
And then after that, you can do the images and the volume, and I'm not even 100% sure if the volume is necessary. I've just been like, you know what?
I'm thinking that too. Yeah.
It's just, did it complain about getting rid of the? Oh,
because the container was probably still running.
The container was still running. Yep.
So we got 2 volumes.
Yep.
I'm gonna get rid of that most recent one. Keep that older one.
Well, the volume's the easy part. Like, I would just get rid of it.
Okay.
It's pulling the container that's going to take time, but it doesn't take that much time.
I wasn't worried about time. Well, because now we got to receive the data. That was my which means the API.
Yeah.
Which means All right. So now we just go back to here and rerun it.
Yep. And now what happens is that it just takes a little time for these things to start up. But it tries starting the website right away, but the emulator's not up yet.
That's true, but the emulator, so we don't have anything in the app host that says wait for that.
You're right that.
And there's nothing on the main page that calls the API, so it really has no idea if it's there or not.
Yeah, that's true. So what is the browser console saying? Because I can't see what's going on the right-hand side, but it's it just keeps going, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole stack of these.
What's at the very
API
top?
cannot load.
What's at the very, very top?
This it's this is the one that looks like it keeps repeating.
You know
SRIs,
what? It just
integrity
feels
checks
like
failed.
Blazor WASM is just saying, I'm not going to load. I'm trying to think of what you'd mentioned something earlier about trying to get rid of anything cached for this.
Yeah. So can we console no source bugs?
So in the let's see, how about in network?
Yeah. It's just the CSS files. That's it.
Yeah, right. Like nothing else is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what if you clicked disable cache in network and then reloaded it? See, there's something really strange where it actually seems to be blowing up. Like it's just not loading the WebAssembly. I don't know. I don't want to say that like there's a whole bunch of WASM going on, but the whole Blazor WebAssembly framework just seems to not be loading for you.
Mm. But there's no issue on your side, right? And it sounds like with a lot of the other folks who are running it locally, they're not having an issue either.
I basically reset to origin/metadata. I reset to that.
Okay.
And
just the same one that we're on.
Right. And for the most part, it was fine. Meaning that like I didn't do anything other than just run it.
Mm-hmm.
And it tries to open up, like, I mean, I guess I can show it. But
Yeah. Well, let's just take a look and see what got created. So we got volumes, we got images, and
so I'm just sharing my screen real quick.
Go for it.
And I mean, all I've done is like I am on the same exact commit. And you know, it launches the app, redirects, brings up the seated meeting. Oh, but I had content in here already, so this wasn't.
Yeah. No, I know.
Whereas I think in your case, this particular branch doesn't have the data seating, right?
Yeah.
But this is all here. So I think it is strange. I think it's strange that even when you reset, it's still.
Yeah, which makes it so. Then thinking through kind of what's there and not there, it could be that it's not the containers, right? Because the containers, we blew them away, right? We blew everything away and they recreated. So is it potentially something in the bin or the objects that got created and cached? Because I know there was that issue that kind of started at the beginning where that was trying to build something in the bin folder, and saying it can't because the object still had it. And I'm reaching here. I'm trying to piece some things together that might be, you know.
So I'm the last person who says, you know, I'm the last person in the world who says, I'm just going to wipe out my folder and clone from source again. Because I'm the last person that does that. Like I
Yep.
never do. I always kind of try to tell people like there is a way out, right? I can move to a different commit. But I think it's really strange. And I do wonder, like it's running the preview emulator. You're using the same code. We're on the same branch.
And others have downloaded and not had the issue.
Right.
That's the other thing. So you're not seeing it. People in the chat are saying they're not seeing it.
I'm thinking of issues that I've run into, and one of them was that, like I said, was after installing a .NET 10 preview, what the compiler will try to do is use the latest .NET, and it would blow up because it was a pretty early .NET 10 preview. So I don't know. Maybe there was. I actually don't know. Maybe there was something that wasn't working. So I have a global JSON sitting in my folder, but it's like it's personal. I don't commit it, and that's to allow other people to bring down the code without an issue.
And I don't, because we're not getting the WASM component to load.
We used to have the wait fors in there. We used to, but then I remember we took them out, saying that, well, technically speaking, the website, theoretically, the API shouldn't be dependent on the container. It should be resilient to the container, to the Cosmos DB stuff not existing.
Right.
But I think it's interesting because we used to have that. We used to have the wait fors in the project, and at this point we don't. But
no, we did move them. Go ahead.
Like Alan has this here saying,
like, what if that one?
Right? What if we?
I mean, we certainly can. So it would be here on this one, right? Because it's the API that has to wait for the container. We don't care about the metadata right now. It's the meeting one that we're interested in. So we're just going to focus on that. So he's got wait from, got it. Meeting container. And then builder, add project, right? That's down here. That's the next one down. Add project. Yep, that's fine. With reference orbital API. Wait for orbital API. Yes. Although right now, thinking that through, it's
well, we know that it's not. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the main landing page does not have the API called at all. So you should be able to load this without running into any of the API issues, CORS issues, nothing. It's just a static web page, and we're even hitting an error on that. So let's try those. And I appreciate everybody's thoughts and comments in the chat. It's really, there's a lot of good suggestions in there. There's a lot of good thoughts, and this is the thing that makes me think there's something going on, right? You've got this process cannot access the file.
Yeah.
And because of that.
Gosh, where did I run into this before?
Yeah. It's locked by this app host. I don't think. Let's try that once more and make sure that wasn't it.
Now I'm trying to remember if we had a similar situation.
and that's still on the meetings page with a different port number. And then probably showing all of the same if we go to console.
See, this is so interesting, right? Hold on a second. Let me before you bail out of there, because I want to be able to see what this says. So we're Blazor WASM, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blazor WASM. So I've just found a page in the documentation. ASP.NET Core, Blazor WebAssembly, .NET Bundle caching, and integrity check failures.
Should we bring your page up?
Yeah.
I got it.
Do you see it? And do I have that on there? Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can do that. All right.
Oh, okay.
So, something has changed in the content of the view. This might happen. Some aspect of the deployment server to diagnose which file is triggering the error by reading the error message. Open your browser developer tools. Look in the network tab. Find the file that is triggering the error. Check the HTTP status response. If you confirm. I can't understand. See now, how interesting that. What the heck is going on here? I don't want to disable integrity checking because it doesn't look like we need it.
Right.
Wow, this looks like a mess, but to your point, how do we completely clear the cache? I'm trying to remember if there's a way in the browser to say you only want to clear the cache for localhost or something instead of your entire machine.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine if we do it for this machine. It's the dev box. So,
can you try loading the app in an incognito browser, or an in private, whatever?
Yeah. So let's copy that URL. Let's go to a new in private. Boom. Boom.
Am I okay switching back to you?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, just like Alan said here. Just because the error messages that you're getting seems to relate directly to now this is in the incognito browser.
Yes.
Or the whatever, okay.
In private, yep.
So in the browser console, I think we should be able to, okay, same thing. So I think in the network tab, actually we're getting some help here, right? So network, and then I think that you can pick your application. I think you can pick it from, I don't know if you can right click there and say clear. Okay, so it might just be network.
Okay, so go to network. Clear the network log.
Oh, you know what the issue is we can't see that. So you can't see all of the all of these things. So welcome elements console. See how it's starting to close them off on the right at the top. Welcome elements console sources network. What happens is it's running out of room, so it just says I'm just gonna an application's the one that we want, but we couldn't quite get to it. Okay, and then
local storage.
I don't know that it's local storage. Is it cache storage? We have Yaroslav, who I think is trying to direct us right to it. So what happens if you clear that? Like, can you clear it?
Service workers.
We basically want to clear like all of this. I don't know if there's a one-stop button or a one-stop, like, hey, right-click here.
All right, so just got rid of that. Doesn't want to let me do anything there. Session storage.
So up at the top where it says application, Yaroslav is saying where it says service workers. I'm sorry. On the left-hand side, it says application again. Is we don't have any. I couldn't tell if it was. I couldn't tell what happened there.
I clicked the service worker, and that's what it got me. Let's not do that. Application, service workers.
And then storage. I don't know what's in storage. Maybe nothing. Clear site data, maybe?
Yep. Unregistered service workers. Manifest, the second one on the service worker. Oh, I see what you're saying. Second item, manifest and then service worker. Got it. That's where we were. But if the only thing, like, so none of this is checked. If I click that, I go to that other weird page that wanted to see all my registrations. So
I don't know if it's just refresh at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Clear that too. Although that looks like it's cleared. Sometimes service workers have a cache. Can you not show my screen for a second?
Okay. Yeah, so this is just my screen looking at the documentation. And the only reason I found this interesting was that when I went ahead and essentially, tried to search for some of the stuff we were seeing in the error messages, which was fetch API, cannot load integrity check, then I immediately got to this Microsoft Learn page, and I was like, okay, I don't feel like that's a coincidence.
Right.
that
page exists.
That page exists, and that some of what I typed in got the search to say like, yep. But so in the end, it turns out that this goose chase may not be about CORS at all. At least I don't know that I think that it was, because some of the things that you were telling me earlier did sound like CORS errors. And we did find that line of code where allow all origins wasn't set. And I think that has to do with the fact that, we're on localhost, the ports can be different just because of the way the developer environment works. Now you can lock that down. You can lock that down in the launch settings. We could lock it down. And we could do that. Sometimes I kind of hesitate to do things that aren't necessary. But in any case, I don't know if you've tried running it again or not.
I did. Did not just do a reset. I think I stopped. I'm just going to try to make sure I'm going to stop everything. And let's go ahead and rerun it.
And then the second thing, we're not going to get to it today, unfortunately, because I do have a hard stop coming up. But the other thing I want to get to is trying the MSAL library for authentication, which, in the Blazor web app, I've had a much easier time with authentication. On the WebAssembly standalone, I've struggled with it a little bit more. And that was even kind of like following a quick start and saying like, okay, like a lot of this makes sense to me, but yet still there are some pieces that aren't covered here, such as like the user's logged in. So well, now I want to get more information from graph. And even though you'd think that should work fine, it wasn't. I was struggling with it. So I think that's something else to look at there.
So I'm just trying to do some cleanup and see if that helps on the web side of things.
So the app still isn't working when you fire it up then, even after all that?
I'm in that same state. Oop. All right. All right. So all I did was I cleaned out the bin and the object folders on the web application. I don't know if we need to go more than that. Because that seems to be the one that's causing the issue, but I mean, we could do it in other projects as well. But that's kind of what I'm thinking for now. So let's try that and see if that fixes things.
Okay. Can I switch back or no?
I suppose we could. Well, there you go.
So what's hard to know now, was it
Yep.
It's sort of like you performed a manual version of clean,
Yes.
like what you would
Let's see
do in a Visual Studio project. And I want to say, is there a .NET command that does something similar? I don't remember.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I suppose I can find that out real quick.
So this is the orbital web. So I did it off screen just in case it didn't work or what have you. But so I went to, there's the bin folder and there's a debug and the .NET 9. And then all of this in here, I basically just deleted. Ultimately, I wound up deleting all the way back up to the bin folder as well.
Yeah,
and
right.
The object folder and got rid of all the pieces here. And then went to debug .NET 9 here. And I got rid of all this. So yeah, you're right. It's a manual clearing of everything.
So there is a .NET clean command.
Really?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that. So if I stop this and we go back to, do you know what that command is?
Yeah, .NET clean, and then you don't have to supply this.
Okay.
It says if you do supply a project or solution file, it will work with that. If a file is not specified, the command will search the current directory for one. Then
So
there's no, I don't think. Yeah, sure. Is it -p? Is it no? It's not. It's actually not a option. Right.
Oh, okay.
So basically that, and then if you give it the solution file or the proj file or whatever, then it'll clean that. Now there are some options such as verbosity. What's the target runtime you want to clean for? What configuration do you want to clean for? I guess that makes sense. So
that's interesting. So clean, it leaves the folders, and I'm sure that might be a switch or an option inside of there, but all of the files that were there are gone.
Are gone, yeah.
And then if I go back to the object, The object doesn't seem to be impacted. It's just the bin. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Alan's point here is,
yeah.
In his experience, he's had it leave some stale files. And so I think he'll resort to this, right? Which I've actually done that as well. I have done that, or I've just said, you know what, just remove anything named bin and obj. I have resorted. I have done that.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. But
here's what we have to wonder is, was this whole, since we at least attempted to clear local website cache, local application cache, you know, I'm not saying we were successful. I'm not going to pretend that I know for sure that we were successful. Right. But since that was the first thing we attempted, that sort of muddied the waters a little bit in terms of was it even necessary to do? You know, well, we just don't know.
Right. Our error did not change. Right. So is it that we need to do A and B? And right. By the time we had to do both to get there, or was it really just B, that last step we did? Don't know.
Was it just forcing a solution rebuild, which it's the kind of thing that if you're in Visual Studio, I can't tell you how many hundreds of times over the years I will throw up my hands and go clean the solution, rebuild the solution, things like that. So yeah, from a debugging standpoint, not 100% sure if the first piece was necessary, but certainly you're up and running. And I think to try, you know, again, when there's multiple problems, it can always be complicated. I thought that it was with origin localhost might have been hurting you on the CORS front, but we addressed that early.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I think, like we've talked about, we have to have a better strategy for that than we have right now. Because right now the strategy is just allow the whole world, and that's not what we're going to want in production. But, you know, here we are.
Yep. So I'm just basically testing out and seeing, hey, is this working? So we're going to go ahead and actually create that meeting async. Meeting added successfully, and there it is. So at least from that perspective, we've got this working. We could try and pull, well, depends how much longer you want to go. We could probably pull the stash and see if that changes things.
Yeah, I'm actually a little past what was supposed to be a hard stop, so I have to get going.
All right, we should wind up then.
Yeah.
Okay, I will turn it back over to you.
There we go. So that. All right. So that that didn't work out the way we thought today, but I think Alan has a great summary.
Yeah, I was just bringing that up. That sounds interesting.
And that's kind of what that article was talking about, I think. But this is probably a much better explanation, because that article is long. You know, I can understand why the browser is doing this, because besides just an unintentional mismatch or things that are more innocuous, it can certainly prevent an app from working if somebody tinkers with the files locally and it says, hey, wait a second, what I have here doesn't match the integrity check, so you know it's been tampered with. But like I said, there's even innocuous reasons like the ones we ran into where I'm not sure how it got in that state, but here we are. So next up, I think, is the authentication stuff, which we didn't get to today. I'll have to go to the YouTube entry here and make sure that it doesn't reference that we did this, because we didn't get to it. But I do want to. So I tried offline. One way I tried doing this was using the MSOL library, and while I was able to do an external login, there were some weird things that I didn't, things that I wish that it did differently. So we'll just have to decide if we're going to stick with it, because what we want to do is we want people to be able to come to the app and identify themselves with something, like whether they want to use their Microsoft account or maybe some other account. We want to support multiple accounts and let them come to the app, identify themselves that way, and then they could start saying that they're coming to one of the meetings, right?
Yep.
But in the meantime, listen, we had a lot of great help today. I want to thank everybody who commented in chat. It really is helpful, and appreciate everybody who joined in, and hope it was interesting and helpful to try to help us, and that maybe even if all you take out of it might be that if you're ever working in Blazor WASM or in any WebAssembly based type framework, and you're seeing these kind of resource integrity checks, it could be enough for you to say, I don't know, let me see what's changed on my end, or in this case, it was a clean of the project, really clean of the bin artifacts that we think got you running. So we'll see for next time. Everybody have a great weekend. Hopefully, where you are, it's everything's going great, and we will see you all next time on the Dev Talk Show.